What if I told you that all your favorite female characters follow a formula, that there's a hidden blueprint behind the way they're crafted, designed to tap into something deeper within us? These characters aren't just random creations, they're carefully constructed to appeal to specific desires and fantasies, often shaped by what's known as the male gaze. Now, whether you're an artist, writer, or general storyteller, understanding the male gaze can really help you mold your character's appearance, behavior, and overall role they play in your story. And when you apply it, it can really help make your character stick with the viewers because they're crafted to resonate on a deeper level. But regardless, I would say it's at least important to know the basics as to what goes into appeasing the male fantasy so you can apply it accordingly. And I know that there's this sort of negative connotation regarding the male gaze, like, oh, it's just when you over-sexualize your female characters, and yes, that's definitely one way of using it, but you can also apply it more intelligently to help make your work more sophisticated. So I wanted to go over 3 popular female archetypes and discuss with you guys how each one of them appeases the male gaze. So hopefully by the end of this video, you'll have a better understanding as to why certain tropes or cliches work so well. And I'll mostly be giving examples from anime because that's just the majority of stuff I've seen, but the male gaze can be applied to any sort of fiction across the entire world. It doesn't just gotta be anime. So, the first trope on our list is the enigmatic woman who uses her charm and allure to lead men into dangerous or compromising situations, commonly known as the femme fatale.
Sure, you can ask me for anything at all.
Would you die for me?
This character type is one you'll see across many stories, and you could probably list a few from your favorite games, movies, or shows. And something I've always found interesting about this archetype is they're not just a seductive figure, they're a force of nature, a manipulator who understands and exploits the desires and weaknesses of those around her. And when you look at this trope through the lens of the male gaze, it's almost like these characters become an object of both desire and fear. You know, quite a unique combination. Now for this section, I wanted to briefly discuss Makima from Chainsaw Man, as I feel like she's a perfect example of this. You know, Makima is a character who operates on a level far beyond mere physical seduction. She doesn't just attract with her looks, though her beauty definitely plays a role. She also attracts with the promise of fulfilling deep-seated desires that go beyond the physical. She manipulates Denji, the protagonist, with offers of affection and a life he's always dreamed of, but in reality she's weaving a web of control around him. Makima appeals to the male gaze not just because she is desirable, but because she represents the ultimate unattainable. She embodies the fantasy of a woman who is both nurturing and dominant, someone who can offer safety and affection while also holding absolute power over the man she ensnares. And I feel like this duality is central to the male gaze because it's almost as if Makima represents both a dream and nightmare. And her character also plays into some darker aspects, I feel, as it plays on the male fear of losing control to such a powerful figure while simultaneously fetishizing the idea. It's not just about wanting her, it's about the thrill of being controlled by her, of being at the mercy of someone who is as captivating as she is dangerous. Now, another quintessential example of this would be Catwoman from pretty much most Batman material out there. Now, I've always loved the dynamic between Catwoman and Batman because she's everything he shouldn't want. A thief, a criminal, a symbol of the chaos he fights against, but he can't help but being drawn into her. Their relationship is a constant push and pull where neither one of them fully trusts the other, but they're still attracted nonetheless. Catwoman's appeal through the male gaze is multifaceted, I feel, as she represents the allure of stepping into the gray areas, of embracing a side to life that is thrilling precisely because it goes against the rules. And Batman's attraction to her is rooted in this tension. She's a break from his rigid moral code, a challenge to his self of control. She's the fantasy of the untamable woman, the one who doesn't need saving, who lives by her own rules and can walk away at any moment. And one of my favorite aspects of Catwoman is how she has the power to bring out a different side of Batman. She can get under his armor both literally and metaphorically, revealing his vulnerabilities and making him question his path. And I think that this aspect of their relationship really appeals to the male gaze because it taps into the fantasy of being understood by someone who sees through your defenses, who can connect with you on a level no one else can. It's basically the idea that she's the only one who can bring out the man behind the mask. Now, the next trope I wanted to discuss was the childhood friend, a female character who has known the protagonist since they were young, often harboring deep feelings for them that go beyond mere friendship. And an obvious but great example of this would definitely be Mikasa from Attack on Titan. Mikasa's relationship with Eren is definitely one of the more interesting ones in the series, I feel. You know, from the jump, we see that Mikasa is very loyal and protective of him. Her feelings for Eren go far beyond friendship, and she is devoted to him in a way that borders on obsession. And it's even to the point where she will still harbor these feelings for him, even when it doesn't appear to be mutual.
Believe me when I say this, Mikasa. Ever since I was a kid, I've hated you.
Through the male gaze, Mikasa is the embodiment of the perfect protector, beautiful, deadly, and utterly devoted. And while her physical strength and combat skills make her an impressive warrior, I would say that it's really her emotional attachment to Eren that appeases this male fantasy. This dynamic kind of taps into the male desire of being the center of someone's world, of having a woman who is both strong and nurturing, someone who would do anything to ensure your safety and happiness. Mikasa's willingness to stand by Eren despite the increasingly dark path he treads fulfills a fantasy where the protagonist is loved not just for his strengths, but despite his flaws and shortcomings. And I would say that this kind of devotion, where the female character remains steadfast no matter what, kind of taps into the male monkey brain by reinforcing the idea that love is not just about romance, but also about loyalty and sacrifice. Now, I also wanted to briefly discuss Hinata from Naruto, as I feel like she also encapsulates this loyal and loving childhood friend trope. You know, pretty much from the jump, Hinata has always looked up to Naruto, admiring his determination and strength even when others saw him as an outcast. And as the series progresses, her feelings for him transform from a shy admiration into a more profound love. Through the male gaze, Hinata represents the idea of a gentle, supportive companion who believes in the protagonist even when no one else does. Her character appeals to the male fantasy of being seen and appreciated for who you truly are, flaws and all. She embodies the fantasy of a woman who is not only loyal but also nurturing, someone who stands by the protagonist's side through every hardship, offering encouragement and support. Hinata's appeal also lies in her transformation throughout the series. Initially portrayed as shy and unsure of herself, Hinata gradually grows into a strong, capable ninja, all the while maintaining her gentle nature. I would say this evolution makes her really appease the male fantasy, as she combines the innocence and purity of a childhood friend with the strength and determination of a true partner. So basically what I'm getting at is, if you think Naruto should have been with Sakura, you're out your damn mind. Now, if you're enjoying this video so far, please drop a sub and leave a like. It's a very easy way to support the channel, and you'll get more intellectual videos like this. Now, the final trope I wanted to discuss was the young sister. This trope is all about vulnerability, innocence, and the unspoken responsibility that an older brother has towards his younger sister. The appeal of this trope lies in its ability to evoke strong emotions, playing on the male desire to protect and care for someone who is seen as innocent and in need of safeguarding. And the first example I wanted to discuss was Nezuko from Demon Slayer. You know, she's probably the most obvious example, but she fits the script perfectly. Now, for those of you who have never seen Demon Slayer, Nezuko is the younger sister of Tanjiro Kamado, the protagonist of the series. So basically what happens is a demon kills most of their family, and this also ended up turning Nezuko herself into a demon. So basically the whole show is Tanjiro embarking on a journey to find a cure for her, all the while protecting her from both external threats and her own demonic instincts. Through the male gaze, Nezuko embodies the ultimate figure of innocence and vulnerability. Despite being turned into a demon, she retains her human emotions and a strong bond with her brother. Nezuko's appeal lies in the contrast between her innocent appearance and her terrifying power as a demon. She is both the delicate sister who needs protection and a fierce force when defending her brother, creating a dynamic that is deeply appealing. I would say that this trope plays on the fantasy of the older brother as a protector, someone who is willing to go to great lengths to keep his sister safe. The idea that Nezuko, despite her strength, relies on her brother to help her maintain her humanity and resist her darker impulses taps into a male desire to be needed, to be the one that stands between innocence and danger. Moreover, Nezuko's portrayal often emphasizes her childlike qualities, her small stature, the bamboo muzzle she wears, and her expressive, innocent eyes. The male gaze here is drawn to the idea of safeguarding this innocence, of being the shield that keeps her safe from a world that would otherwise corrupt and harm her. And also really quickly, just something to keep in mind is that this trope doesn't necessarily have to be with a biological brother and sister. Shiro from No Game No Life is a perfect example of this. Shiro is the younger stepsister of Sora, the series' main character, and together they navigate a world where everything is decided by games, relying on each other for both strategy and survival. Despite her exceptional intelligence, Shiro heavily depends on Sora, not just in the games they play, but also emotionally as well. She may be extremely smart, yes, but she's also deeply connected to her older brother, or stepbrother in this case. And again, when you look at Sora, he also exhibits a lot of the protective guardian traits that Tanjiro shows. You know, he always ensures the safety and well-being of Shiro as they face challenges together. And their relationship highlights the essence of the younger sister trope, I feel, showing that it's more of a dynamic rather than a biological connection. Now guys, there are many ways to appease the male gaze, and female archetypes is just one tiny part of it, and I only listed a few, so if you guys have any more ideas or tropes that you think would fit this list, then let us know in the comments. But yeah, other than that, just make sure to follow me on X and Instagram, and have a good rest of your day.